Well, yeah, in Germany, in the German real estate market, we've seen yield compression over the past years to the extent, especially in the core sector, where we're talking about record low yields of 3%, sometimes even lower for trophy assets. To me, actually, if you talk about risk, then that's the most risky part to go into that strategy at this point in time, because no one really knows whether yields will stay at that level or necessarily or potentially change even back to previous levels. So in that sense, we're looking after deals that are more in the range in the secondary cities outside, let's say, where the herd goes or where everyone goes. And if you look at the numbers, then you will find that only 18% of the capital that goes into those deals actually comes from outside the country. So we're talking about the domestic play. We're talking about players being on the ground, potentially only wanting to negotiate and talk in German. Many times these are entrepreneurs, elderly people who sell their properties, semi-professionals, and it really needs someone on the ground to be able to source those deals, analyze those deals, and really find those opportunities. But there we're talking about yields in the range of 6 to 8%, and obviously this gives you good cash on cash and income return. We're always looking at the cycles, and with respect to asset classes, where are we in a particular cycle? And residential, what we have done over the past years, we have seen yields also come down to 3%. I would say since the beginning of this year, we've seen yields at that level being stable, not necessarily dropping further, but obviously now is a good time to sell in residential. So in that cycle, I would say that we're somewhat at its peak. Whereas in office, you would see that if you look at the curve, then you will find more potential throughout the next years. In residential, that's not necessarily the case anymore. That's why we have looked to sell in residential and move on to office, and there buy now and then sell in 3, 5, 7 years time, when basically we have gained the value there and reach the peak of its cycle there.